having an official ID is essential in so many areas, from housing, a job, health care, and receiving benefits from programs meant to serve as a social safety net like SNAP. But for many, getting an ID is not easy. Kat Calvin has been working to help thousands through the organization's Spread the Vote and Project ID. And she joins me now to discuss her new book, American Identity in Crisis, Notes from an Accidental Activist. Kat, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's start. Why are you an accidental activist?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm accidental because, just like probably everybody watching and anyone who reads my book, I had no idea that 26 million American adults didn't have ID until I actually got started with this organization and realized the huge impact of the problem. And so it kind of was something I tripped into.
So this issue usually comes up in terms of voter ID laws, but it can actually affect obviously many different aspects of life. You write this in the book: focusing on IDs for voting was like trying to end climate change because our swimming pools are getting too hot. The ID crisis was causing much bigger issues. Break down how the issue goes beyond obviously just voting.
Sure. So if you think about everything you need your ID for, right? You need it to get a job, to get housing, to get health care, like you said, to get SNAP or Social Security benefits, any sort of government program, any sort of thing that you need in order to pull yourself out of homelessness, out of poverty. Even to mail a package at FedEx or to open a bank account. And so when we have 26 million American adults, 11% of the adult population in this country, that doesn't have the ID that they need in order to be able to do those basic things, then it's really a crippling problem.
Yeah, and there are many different reasons why. You write about how it was really challenging to get clients and to help them secure an ID that they need. How have you gone about tackling that challenge?
So when we first started, along with me not really understanding the scope of the problem, I didn't understand how terrifying it is to not have an ID. When we were just going to people and saying, like, hey, do you have an ID? We can help. They were running away, and understandably. And so what we had to do was partner with the organizations on the ground across the country who are doing really incredible work with social workers and case managers, with homeless shelters and rehabs and all sorts of different organizations. And once we partnered with them and showed that we were trustworthy, now we have so many people calling and emailing us every single day needing IDs that we can't keep up, and we've helped over 11,000 people get IDs because now we are parts of the community that can be trusted.
Do you have a specific story? I'm sure you have many stories, but one specific story you can share about helping a person get an ID?
Sure. So, one of my favorites is Ron, who was one of my clients here in Los Angeles. And Ron was awesome. He's a Navy veteran, and he was actually living in his car in the VA parking lot because he couldn't get an ID, and so he couldn't get his VA benefits, he couldn't get a job, he couldn't get all of these things. And so he found us. I helped him get his ID, and then I drove around, helped him he couldn't get a replacement debit card for his bank because he didn't have an ID, all of these things. And once we actually got him his driver's license, he got it, and he texted me about 3 days later, and he had already gotten 2 jobs and was talking to someone about housing. They very frequently say, I'm a person again, because you're not a person without an ID.
So it's understandable what you want people to take away from the book. It's very clear. You want to help people, but if people are watching right now and want to get involved in help too, how can they?
Well, there's a few things. So we actually have a bill in Congress called the IDs for an Inclusive Democracy Act. It would establish a free federal ID for Americans so that we eliminate this problem. So you can go to projectidaf.org. That is our Project ID Action Fund, our political organization that is working to help increase IDs for everyone. And you can call your member of Congress. You can write letters to the editor. There are also ways that you can volunteer with us, but also every single community has people who don't have IDs. And so you can also go to your local shelter, to any sort of local community organization that is working with vulnerable populations and just say, like, hey, is there a way I can help?
Just quickly, in this brief conversation, I can see you get an awful lot of joy doing what you do. Tell me how it makes you feel every time you get someone an ID.
It is You know, I'm a lawyer by training, but I knew that I could not go into the law because I don't have the patience of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? I can't spend 30 years trying to solve a problem. So for me, when every day I can look at someone and know that I got them an ID, and they so often, you know, they cry and we hug and they're so excited, and then they come to me and they show me the key for their new apartment or their uniform because they just got a new job, and I know that I was able to help unlock that key for them and change their lives, and so often change their children's lives in our community, and it means everything, and it's the reason that this has become my life's passion and the thing that I have to do, because I have looked in the faces of so many people and seen how just that ID that we take for granted, that I took for granted my entire life, that it changes everything for people.
Yeah, it absolutely does. What a beautiful feeling. All right, Kat Calvin, thanks so much. Really appreciate you joining us. In the book, American Identity Crisis, is available now wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.